Space, 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 space. What's up? Shalom, peace, and blessings. I hope everybody's good today. I hope you guys doing good out there in the world. I have a message today, and the message is a deep message, very deep, very deep. So we're gonna talk about narcissistic family members, narcissistic parents. You don't owe nothing to your parents. This message should be parental advisory because it can get kind of harsh with the message that I'm about to bring to you because it's a deep message. So I want you guys to watch. I just stumbled across this idea, and I saw that there's like a TikTok of people giving their reasons why they do no contact, because some of you have been terrorized by your demonic family and don't know why, and you think it's normal to live in a life of chaos and confusion and torment, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to chime in here and there and everywhere. I hope y'all can see me good. All right, good. So I'm going to start the video. Yeah.
Doing the things that my mom has done, that y'all would not be telling me that.
We're going to go back.
That if it was my husband that was saying or doing the things that my mom has done, that y'all would not be telling me that I need to stay with him and talk to him and make it work.
Hey people, how you are doing today? Take care, Destiny here, and welcome back to my channel. How you are doing? Hope you guys are doing great. So today's video, we want to talk about no contact to parents. So this girl went on TikTok to talk about how people should stop telling people that have no contact with their parents to try to resolve things, to try to make things up, to settle issues with their parents. And just listen what she has to say.
Stop telling people who are no contact with their parents that they need to either make things right, they need to talk to their parents, or that's your mom. Like, how can you just not talk to her? I had someone on my live yesterday say that my mom is not guaranteed tomorrow.
Good.
And that should give me the reason that I need to talk to her. Y'all only know the 2 stories that I've told y'all. I have 26 years worth of things that have happened. I just know that if it was my husband that was saying or doing the things that my mom has done, that y'all would not be telling me that I need to stay with him and talk to him and make it work. So why is it different when it comes to parents? I don't care who you are. I have boundaries. I'm not going to let people treat me just whichever way they want to treat me.
That's right.
Also, keep in mind that me being no contact with my mom was not an easy decision for me. It is not something I wanted to do or that I took lightly. And I'm still not happy about it. I don't want to have this sort of relationship. I don't want to be doing this.
It's never
I'm also
easy.
putting myself first and doing what I feel is best.
This got a lot of people talking. I have my own personal story, and I have a parent that I am in no contact with, which I'm going to share my story. But let's get your other people's thoughts on this, and then I'll come back and talk.
Stop telling people who are no contact with their parents that they need to either make things right.
I wholeheartedly stand by these because I feel like, first of all, as a child, it's not my job to reach out to my parents if they're not reaching out to me. That's one. And 2, the things that my father has done to me, I've forgiven him for, because I'm not just gonna walk around with hate in my heart. Because that's just not me. I'm not living my day-to-day worried about what my dad did back in 2019. But at the same time, we just will never speak again. My dad literally kicked me out my last day of high school and didn't even come to my graduation the next week. The year of 2018 to 2019, my father had remarried because my mother...
Wow. Sorry to think. So we all on this earth have many similar stories. We all have many similar stories, and my family used to tell me I'm overreacting. That okay, break down the backstory, right? As you know, I'm a survivor of narcissistic abuse and narcissistic family environment. So living in a environment of chaos, violence, drugs, all types of forces. Um, I was the only one, thank God, that graduated high school. Small high school. You know, only one out of my family, and no one came to my graduation. You know, when you're on stage and you see everyone else's family at the graduation, and it's a big thing. So even to this day, that kind of hurts me, and as it hurts her too, that no one came to her graduation. And you know what my family members say? You barely graduated. My grandma said, "Well, you barely graduated, dealing with all the torment in the household, and then have to wake up to go to school in the morning." You know, and I graduated. No one came. Mom, dad, no one came. You know, and that's a very hurtful thing. They say you barely graduated. Like, who does that? So they just do some wild things. When I was 17, I moved out of my house. You know, I didn't even tell nobody I was moving. I just worked. So this is what you have to do, because this is not tactics. This is for healing and for you to find your strength and find your motivation to move on, and how you're gonna move on and navigate this world full of narcissists. You know what I'm saying? You got to save up your money, move, move out of that toxic relationship, move out of that toxic household. Don't even tell them, because when you tell them, they're gonna start plotting against you. You know what I'm saying? And you got to just go no contact. Let me let her finish talking. Yeah, they hate us. Your parents are haters, bro, and sisters. Your parents are haters. Just because they didn't make it in life and they're stuck, they want to keep you back and hold you back from your greatness. Do you hear me? They're trying to hold you back from your greatness. Okay. So be great. Be you. Be true. Be you. Here we go.
And passed away in 2016. And when I say my mother, I mean, and my father, I mean my adoptive parents. So yeah, me and my two younger siblings are adopted. When this lady came around, or whatever the case may be, I was a senior in high school, and my little brother was in 8th grade. My other little brother, I think he was a freshman or a sophomore. My 8th grade little brother, they ended up putting him back in foster care, and it wasn't on purpose. It kind of was on purpose, but it really wasn't. So what happened was they put him in a residential, and the residential was supposed to be for 2 weeks, but they never picked him up. And so the residential people called CPS, and my dad just let them have him, basically.
Wow.
The next year in 2020, when I got my first apartment, is when my other brother ended up getting kicked out. So he had to come stay with me. This is my first apartment. I'm only 19 years old, and I'm taking care of a 17-year-old child.
Bruh.
So when people say, like, you know, why you don't speak to your dad? That's your dad. Because my dad don't speak to me. I tried reaching out to him on the 2nd of this year, of May, because that was his birthday. No response. My birthday is 2 days after my dad's. You think I got a text? No. And I just see my aunt the other day, my dad's sister. She said she reached out to him as well on his birthday and didn't get any response. So we're to the point where we just accept it for what it is. I still got love for my daddy forever. And, I get where he was coming from as far as, like, with him being I feel like he was low-key kind of manipulated with the situation that he's in, the relationship he's in. But I feel like also as a man, you shouldn't let nobody come before your kids. Simple. And for that, I will never reach out to him ever again.
telling people who are no contact with their parents that they need to either make things right.
I think what a lot of people miss is that a lot of us didn't actually want to go no contact with our parents. We were forced to, because when a parent puts a child in a position where the child has to choose themselves and their mental health over the emotional, physical, spiritual damage that's being done to the child by the parent, it's one of the most difficult decisions that an individual can make. And I think it's really important to note that a lot of us understand the trauma that our parents went through prior to having us. We understand that they didn't have the resources that we have now. We understand that they didn't grow up the way that we have grown up with them. But all we have ever asked of them is to stop treating us as if what they've done to us has
Never
had an impact
happened.
on us, especially when we've taken the time
Bruh.
to understand how their lives and their parents have impacted them. I told my mother directly that I would rather be homeless on the street with nothing and have a healthy relationship with her than have her speak to me and treat me the way that she has. And it still didn't
Wow.
click for her.
That's
I
deep.
went through some of the worst losses in my life, and she mocked the entire situation.
That's what they do.
For me,
That's what they do.
when a parent kicks a child when they're at the low points that I have faced, you forced me to go no contact with you, because at that point, contact with you is causing me physical harm. A lot of people don't understand that a lot of us have very internal reactions to the hurt and pain that our parents have caused us that manifests itself in a physical nature. For me, I start shaking, I get night sweats, I start having panic attacks. It affects me to the point where I can't even mentally focus. And this has shown up in a plethora of my relationships, romantic relationships with partners who mirrored behavior of my parents specifically.
Wow. That is so deep. So, yeah, that's when you suffer narcissistic abuse from growing up in a toxic environment, you tend to gravitate in your romantic relationship to the same kind of treatment, the same kind of person. You gravitate that same kind of energy because you're used to getting that kind of uh treatment. So it's like you kind of drawn like a magnet to it unconsciously. You're joined to that type of individual. So you have to be careful not to fall into those traps. So I grew up in a house with a lot of domestic violence, right? Come home, mom and stepdad, fist to fist, carrying on every day. Every day, mind you. And come home and you're just there, just sitting there doing whatever. I had two younger brothers or whatever. But my younger brothers don't really know everything because I'm the oldest. So I've seen the fist to fist, the fights and the carrying on and this and that. So my point is, yeah. So my mother is used to being in a kind of domestic violence situation because my grandmother, her mother, was also in domestic violence also. So it's like a generational curse. So probably from the generations before that, the domestic violence and carrying on, it was just passed down. Because it's funny, when I did speak to my mom, she would be like, I act like that because my mom acts like that. Or I do this because my mom does it. And I'm like, what kind of bullshit is that? You don't got no fucking sense. Sorry. I did say that this is parental advisory, but it might get kind of reckless enough because this is like it's traumatic even talking about it. The type of abuse that many of us have been through. So I'm gonna let it play. You know what I'm saying? Because these people, like he said, he get panic attacks, and I need like just by me even opening up to be able to talk about it is giving me a kind of anxiety. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to cuss some bad word and get out of character. But I'm gonna try to be decent for the worldwide. Okay? Sheesh. Oh, let me calm down. All right.
Mother and my father. Well, yeah, those are my parents. I mean, I don't claim them.
Bro.
Anyway, what I'm saying is people have to push a lot of us to the point of no contact, because a lot of us want those very relationships that you guys are telling us that we need. That's your mom, that's your dad, that's your husband, that's your sister, that's your auntie, that's your uncle. Okay, and who am I?
Right?
Who am I? Do
Facts.
I not matter in this equation? Because if I'm not going to matter to
Facts.
you, them,
Facts.
I have to matter to myself.
That's right.
Like, I can't just continue to put everyone ahead of me.
You better.
And that's why a lot of us have chosen to go no contact.
You have to.
And there are plenty of us that are not going to come back for the inheritance because we never needed your money. We wanted your love, respect, kindness.
We don't want them $4.
Care. That's what we wanted.
Sure.
And I'm not saying that money doesn't matter, because it does. But
it doesn't matter.
Was love and respect for my parents.
Love and respect matters more.
And I've been an empath and a people pleaser. So, if I had to cut somebody off, I had to be pushed there, because doormats put up with everything.
Stop telling people who are no contact with their parents that they need to either make things right.
Yes to everything that Creator said. I find that oftentimes people will project whatever relationship or whatever coping skills or dynamics that they've had.
Hold on, lady. So another thing you have to remember about this is, if your parents weren't raised right or have the right kind of yoke, if you know any Bible verses, bring them in. But it's saying something about the yoke. The yoke, if something about the fruits, if the fruits ain't right, if the fruits ain't proper, then if the fruits ain't proper, then you can't expect to be raised with I can't see, bruh. So, oh, it's bright. So if the fruits ain't right, you can't expect to be raised right. You know what I'm saying? And they're stuck in their ways. These people are stuck in their ways. They will never change. So if you have sense, you'll just go no contact and start to live your life and regain your consciousness and regain being stuck in that narcissistic fog. Yeah. Tell your story.
Their own mothers onto me and say those same things, like, that's your mom. Well, she's been through a lot. And it's like, I too have been through a lot because of also her. Also, there's a lot of other things that are out of both of our controls, but it is never an easy decision for people to be no contact or to not really contact their parents or engage with them. And I find that oftentimes when people, shame me or make me feel like, oh, you should do more, you should try to mend this relationship.
Somebody tell me why do people say that? But it's your mom. You only have one mom. If your mom is the devil and is constantly trying to take you out since you were born, why do you have to give them this kind of pedestal like, oh, you only have one mom? What about your feelings? People out there, you guys have feelings too. You do not matter. The child doesn't matter. They didn't have to have you. They didn't have to bring you in this world to be terrorized. Most of you wasn't even. Some of you were probably born in incest. Some probably were born of essayed assaults. Some of you probably were born out of wedlock. Somebody, your mom was probably cheating with different guys, and she don't know who the father is. This one is the dad. This one the dad. Some of you probably found out your father is somebody else after like years. So these types of narcissist parents will not change. Just go no contact, because all they want to do is confuse you and keep you stuck under them. Yeah. Let her talk. Cause
I ask, like, do you think I haven't tried that? Do you think I have not tried everything in the book? I've not been empathetic. I've not been the mother oftentimes in our relationship and dynamic, that I have not made an effort to do the things that she wanted me to do just for her to not try or grow. Like, a lot of these things that you would hear in a relationship, like a romantic relationship,
the gaslighting, the narcissism, the imbalance in the relationship, if you heard that, you tell your friend, like, hey, you should really, like, let that person go. This person is not, they might be a good person. They've been through a lot and have all the empathy, but that person is not healthy for you. So why does that change when it's a parent? A parent is just a person. We always say, like, our parents are people. Like, when you realize your parents are just people, like, you have more understanding, like, you don't put them on a pedestal. I'm like, exactly. If that's true, then why do we put our parents on a pedestal and act as if they are immune from like accountability and change and uh, remorse at the bare minimum? Like, it's if someone who doesn't have contact with their parents, mind your business or ask why, and not from a place of judgment, but from a place of understanding. Because I think too often it's just like this judgment of, like, you must not really care about your parents, and it's like, no, I love them. That's why it's hard. That's why it's hard for me.
Wow.
Stop telling people who are no contact with their parents that they need to either make things right. Whenever I talk about going no contact, I talk about how there came a point in my life where I knew that I could either have a healthy and whole life or I could have a relationship with my family, but I could not have both. Yeah. And trust me, I fought it. I tried to avoid it for years. I thought, is there any other way besides no contact? But I came to the realization that I could not have a good life and keep in contact with my family, no matter how hard I tried, no matter how much mental health care I did, no matter what I did for myself to make myself a healthy person. It was not going to happen because my family was not in a place where they wanted to be healthy people and grow too. And so I was only going to be re-traumatized for my entire life, and I couldn't keep doing that to myself. And so I made the decision. It was me or them, and I chose myself. And people do not often understand how incredibly painful of a decision it is to voluntarily orphan myself and estrange myself from my.
Bless your heart, sister. Bless your heart. So, yeah, these people will continuously traumatize you and bring you back into a narcissistic fog. Don't go back to them. Don't hang out with them. Don't answer their phone call. Because your sanity and your mentality is what matters the most. Okay? Your sanity and your mentality matters the most. Because, okay, let's say there's like so many. I probably gotta break down different playlists of different situations when you go back to your family members, right? So one time I decided to go, oh, my mother hasn't called me in a couple of years, so let me go out with her. Mind you, at the time I did have a little money, so we were going shopping. This creature done boost one of the people's shoes and put the people's shoes in her wherever she put them. So we walking out the store and alarms go off and everything go off crazy, big excitement. And mind you, I'm a low key, shy, reserved kind of person. You know what I'm saying? And alarms go off, big excitement. The police come, they shot her, arrest her, and bring her to the jailhouse. And I'm freaking out because I didn't remember where we parked the car. I'm like thinking I'm about to lose my mom again for the second time because she went to prison for 15 years when we were younger. So when we were younger, she would always used to say, anytime she'd call, you know, she'd be like, "Oh, she's coming back in 2 weeks." 2 weeks, yeah, you come back in 2 weeks. So me and my younger brothers, we get excited. Yes, she's coming back in 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? She's coming back in 2 weeks. 2 weeks turned into 15 years. So she wasn't right from then. So then these are the kind of traumas, so when you go no contact and you decide to go out with them or go to the family function and something pop off and something go wild, I'm near freaking out because I'm thinking she's going back. I'm being re-traumatized again because I was there when she got locked up. They came to the door, knocked down the door, and she was like, she's going, what she said. It was me. I was on my way to school, and we were getting ready to go to school, and then we had a big knocks at the door, and then she called her friend to come pick us up, and then we were young, but I know what police look like, and they took her off, and then so that was kind of traumatizing because after that I didn't see my mom for 15 years. So then me going to her just hanging out, simple store. We go into the store, and she does something despicable like this, and then a more re-traumatization again, and I'm like crying and freaking out and just in a trauma again. You know what I'm saying? So you and then you can't trust her. If you put on your phone, she gonna pocket your phone. You put on something, she gonna. So who wants to deal with that kind of trauma? If you know your spirit is not that type of person, and you know you're not better than anyone, but maybe you are. You know what I'm saying? But they will tell you that you're better than them because you graduated school. Sheesh.
Siblings.
Up to this day, I can't even go anywhere with her. I no contact because that's what she does. She'll have you traumatized again. Okay.
In order for my mental health to improve. And it has improved immensely. But it is not the decision that I would have wanted to make. I spend holidays alone. That's not fun. When people go, oh, what do your parents do? Oh, where are your parents live? I just have to go, yeah, I think that it's not a fun life. And if you are no contact with your family
Yes.
or with a certain family member, you don't owe anybody an explanation. You don't owe them reasons. You don't owe justification.
Nope.
If they don't understand, then that is something that is not compassionate within them. It is not your ability to explain yourself better.
Yeah.
You don't owe anyone anything. This is not the life that I would have chosen for myself, but it is a life where I am happy, where I am safe, and where for
Amen.
the first time in my life I can thrive. Because I am not continually being knocked down by narcissistic abuse and spending all my time recovering from that rather than working toward my own life, my own healing, my own business. I am able to live a free and happy, healthy life because I am not putting the emotional energy of recovering from a family that constantly abuses, verbally abuses, emotionally abuses, and manipulates me and each other. That energy can now be spent bettering myself and bettering my life.
Amen.
Stop telling people who are no contact with their parents that they need to either make things right.
When a person goes no contact with a parent, it's usually for a good reason. Most children do not want to go no contact with their parents. So when you say stuff like, oh, you need to make that right, or that's your mom, that's your dad, you only get one of them, it's insensitive, it's dismissive because you weren't there for the emotional manipulation, you weren't there for the narcissism, you weren't there for the body shaming, you weren't there for the abuse, you just were not there. If the people cut their parents off, they cut them off for a good reason. And if you cannot be a good support system behind that, it's best to just keep your mouth closed on the situation. A lot of people have either never been in the situation or they say stuff like, well, I got physically abused by my parent, or this happened with my parent, and, we're still good to this day. Are you really? Everybody responds to everything differently, and you are allowed to cut anybody out of your life that you want to, including your parents.
Exactly.
Stop telling people who are no contact with their parents that they need to either make things right.
I cannot explain how soul crushing of an experience it is to go no contact with your parent, especially when your parents are immigrant parents. My mother is Nigerian and my father is Ghanaian.
Bruh, the immigrant parents are the worst ones, because they just miserable, 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 miserable. Bad. They're miserable bad. Miserable bad. If you go up in a Caribbean household, they will put word curses on you and don't even care. They'll call you worthless. They'll call you lazy. They'll call you a mad person. They'll call you this. They'll call you that. You're just like your papa. You're just like your mama. You're not gonna be nothing in life for no reason. Just because you wake up and breathe. Just it. Why so dark? You just every little thing. If you grew up in a Caribbean household, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta watch what you're saying to your kids and the conversations that your kids hear, because that internally develops their spirit and their persona. So you gotta watch what you say to your kids, and don't don't give them too many bad messages and call them lazy and worthless, and you're not gonna be nothing. You got, you know, just terrible, 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 terrible. You know.
Also grew up in an incredibly religious, like Roman Catholic household. So, like, the entirety of my experience growing up as a kid was you were with your family. Your family was your number one support system. Like, that's all you had. And for many, many years, I lived that way. I was incredibly studious. I got the best grades in school. I tried everything I could possibly do to make my parents happy. And it was funny because growing up my whole life, everybody would always compare me to my mother and how she didn't take bull, I didn't take bull. And so, to everybody's shock and surprise, for some reason, it seemed to be, when I got older, I didn't take people. That included my parents. Now, I'm not going to get into this huge deep dive of all trauma because who wants to hear that?
Right.
But at about 18, I made the decision to try to go no contact with my parents. And obviously, it didn't work. And over the course of college, I've done every mix of no contact, contact, calling only on the weekends, calling on certain days. What I find time and time again is when I go no contact with my parents, it is always the best my mental health is for an extended period of time. And to make matters worse, what people don't understand is that because your parents know you very well or know a lot of you, they will quite literally, especially when they're trying to force you to communicate with them, use psychological triggers that they know will get you to react or call or whatever. And this isn't me trying to pretend to say that I was the most perfect and best child possible. But when you reach a point where you have somebody who's commenting on your looks and body weight every time you see them, when you've told someone that you recently quit a job and it's really good for your mental health, and the first question they ask you every time when you get on the phone is, what's your next job? Or they call you, and every time they call you, they don't ask how you are, or they'll tell you insane conspiracies about family members, just like the whole 9 yards. It takes a toll. And eventually you have to ask yourself if you're willing to deal with that every day for the rest of your life, or if you're just going to put boundaries. Like right now, I'm in a place where I'm not talking to either one of my parents.
You go,
My
girl.
mother more recently than my father, but she has called me nonstop. And when I was younger, what I would always do is I would pick up the phone and try to have a very calm conversation, and it always leads to us screaming. And when I went no contact with my father, I actually told him I was going no contact before I did it. But with my mother, the guilt that she uses can be almost like
Yeah.
soul crushing,
Yeah.
you know? And so
They-
I've just decided to
guilt
go
trip
no
you.
contact without even saying anything to her.
They guilt
And
trip
so if
you.
you're someone like me who's struggling with this, who feels bad or guilty or that guilt of it being an immigrant child, please don't. And please take care of yourself because you deserve it more than anything.
These demons, narcissists are demons. I know they have narcissistic personality disorder. The doctors won't call it a scientific name, but basically they're demons for the pits of hell. I will always say that, and you guys need to know that because it's serious. It's a spiritual warfare. You know what I'm saying? It's general curses that need to be figured out how to be broken and how to be eradicated for your growth, because they want you stuck. These narcissistic parents want you to stuck. They don't want you to be. They don't want you to grow. You know, there's many mothers that are jealous of their daughters. There's fathers that are jealous of their sons. You know, but to the outside world, the narcissist parents are like mommy dearest. Everyone loves them. They're the nicest to everyone, but they're more evil to their own children. You know, when I used to get home when I was younger, sometimes I'd hear my mom and my grandmother are yelling and carrying on because my mom always felt that, well, my grandmother did kick my mom out at 12 years old to be put in the foster foster system. So my it's like a pattern. My grandmother, she would kick everyone out to be homeless at like 13. No, like 16. Yeah, she's just a very demonic person, but you wouldn't tell because she gets all this plastic surgery to look young and facelifts and, you know, just so she could look deceptive to the world, but we cast out and we rebuke that demon in the name of Jesus, you know. So yeah, so you got to rebuke these narcissist demons. Okay, I forgot my point, but I think I'm gonna start writing them some notes so I could be more organized when I'm delivering you these messages, because there's certain key topics I do need to get to you in a more organized fashion. So back to the video. Yeah.
Please go down in the comment section and share your thoughts.
How you doing, pretty girl?
We have amazing conversation. So go down in the comment section and share your thoughts. But please, please, please keep it.
Yeah, and I always wondered, why at my mom's grown age is she still fighting for the love of her mother? After all, this could be another story time adventure in itself, bruh. But I'm gonna give you just a little gist of the situation, brother. So, my mother was in two car accidents, nearly died in two car accidents, and she always saying she thinks her mother, and people saying it's her mother that put her in the car accidents. Bam, bam, bam. But you still go back to her. You still go back to her. They've literally gotten into fist fights. Mother and daughter getting into fist fights because they were sleeping with each other, man, and all types of weird chaos. You know what I'm saying? I just froze for a second. I don't like talking about this subject. I don't. I don't like talking about this subject because it's trumping up extra things that I'm just remembering. It's so weird. We're gonna let the video play again.
Respectful. You don't have to disrespect anybody for you to air your opinion. So let's be respectful down in the comment section, okay? So for me personally, I am in no contact with my father since 2020. That people that choose to have no contact with a parent or their parent is for one very good reason or the other. It's not because they just don't want to talk to that parent, it's because probably that parent is very toxic and is affecting them. So they just have to like cut cut things off. So I totally agree. I know I've had friends, I've had family members call me sisters, just brothers telling me, oh, you need to settle this thing with your father. But the truth is that I have already made peace with it, and I am even more happier in peace not having no contact with him, because every time it seems like he triggers me,
Yeah.
and that trigger, which is not good for me, which over time makes me to relapse mentally. And for these years that I have not spoken to him, 4 years now, I'll say in that aspect of those triggers that he triggers me, even though we'll talk about my husband later. But for my dad personally, my dad is not a bad person, but he had his own downside, that it's so toxic, it's so controlling, it's so manipulative, that I was not ready to deal with it anymore. And when I choose to have no contact with him, it's for a very good reason. That's for me, that was just what broke the comments back. Something happened 2022, and that was it for me. Maybe one of these days I'll share it with you guys, but not now. I don't feel like sharing it now, but that was just what just break it. Because all this time, and somebody would tell you, anybody in my family would tell you that I had a good relationship with my dad. Like among all his children, I was that one that was like his baby girl. But I also identify how toxic it could be. And when what happened 2020 happened, I saw it more like an eye opener, and God just telling me like, you know what, it's time, like cut this off. And at that point, that was when I started my own journey and my own healing process of bettering myself, knowing myself, be like live in my true authentic self,
You
and
better.
don't condone any form of negative energy around me. And I was able to point out that my father was one of those people that I had to cut off. And there's this saying that all people always get messed up, that blood is thicker than water. What some people don't know is that that saying is actually wrong. The actual full saying is that the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb, which means that the friendship, the family you choose, the family you choose to have bonds with are stronger than the family you came from. And over time now, even doing this with my, even having no contact with my father, I've come to realize that yeah, they are actually, because I even have friends and some people in my life that blood were not blood related, but they are like they mean so much to me. So I totally agree that people should stop telling people that have no contact with their parents or with a parent
Fuck
to go
them.
resolve them, because the underlying issue, the
Fuck
person
them
may
hoes.
not be able
Sure.
and comfortable sharing it with you, or something triggered that action to say, okay, no contact with this parent. You get what I'm saying? I'm in a fantastic relationship with my mom and my other siblings, like fine, but with my dad, no. And since I tried to do no contact with him, has he tried ever to even reach out to me, even via my husband? Never. He has never for once tried to reach out to me to like, oh, where did our friendship, where did our relationship went south, and let's try. No, because like an African parents would be, they are never in the wrong. They
Yeah, hold on, sister. So in African and Caribbean cultures, the parents is never wrong. You will never get any closure. So don't go back look trying to, why did you do this? Why did they do that? Why did they, they're just demons. That's what they do. That's what they do. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. You know what I'm saying? You gotta believe them. Cause I'm the type of person used to. I'm developing. We all developing and developing, developing. We all developing and getting stronger every day. Give people chances. Give people chances. Give people chances. Hoping they can change. Some people, they won't change. They will not change. So if they're calling you, leaving a message, come over for dinner, come over for the party, come over for Thanksgiving, come over for Christmas, come over. Why are you going over there? So they could talk behind your back? So they could bring you into some kind of drama and some kind of mix up? Because if you, I, listen, this, I used to like every couple of years I'll go back to the cookout. Every couple of years I'll go back and it's nothing good come from it. It's like pointless. They just want to get nosy in your business and figure out how they can bring you back into the loop of confusion. You know? So yeah, I'm gonna let this finish. Yeah, man.
they can never hurt you. They are always right. They are not toxic. They know it all. But I personally, I was done at it. I'm almost in my 40s and I'm done with it. I'm trying to make myself a better person and even a happier person. I don't need those negative energy of control, of neglect, of I just don't need it. Anyway, guys, please go down in the comment section and share your thought about this discussion down in the comment section.
You don't
Love to know
need
what you
it.
guys really think. Go down in the comment section and share your thought. Love to read from you guys.
Yes,
But please, let's
Lord.
keep it respectful. You don't have to
No, you
disrespect
don't
anybody to
need
share
it.
your opinion. So let's keep it respectful down there.
No, you
Okay?
don't
With
need
that
it.
one said, share this video with somebody that you want to be part of this conversation, because that's what we do here. We have
You
a
don't
plenty
need it.
conversation. Please give this video a thumbs up, smash the like
No,
button,
you
because that
don't.
helps you to push out my content, and that will be you supporting.
What they say? Women.
So go ahead.
Wait, hold on. They say women found out her husband and mother are having an affair. Ain't that some narcissistic? I know all about it. I got a story time. Want to hear it? Not right now. I gotta hold that one I gotta make a list of my story times because I got that one for you too. Cha. That's why this channel is called Narc Tactics, because when when I really get ready and I really expose, it's just gonna be on some higher level. Just you're not even gonna know. You're just gonna be fully prepared and equipped with the knowledge and the wisdom, and you won't be confused on the narc tactics, because these creatures are wild, bro. A woman comes home from 11 days vacation, bro. These narcissists, mothers really hate their daughters, fathers hate their sons. Your parents suck. They're losers. They're slackers. They don't matter. Your life matters. That's just basically how it is. I'm sorry, not like I can't give you too much positive words because it's not a positive situation. The positive point of it is though you can move on with your life and start your life from where you are, no matter how old you are, no matter how young you are, no matter what condition you where you are in your life, you can move on and you can start fresh. You know what I'm saying? You can start fresh no matter what happens where you are. Even if you're in a mental hospital, mental your way up to God and God will release you. Okay? Don't let these narcissists put you in a mental hospital because they gaslighting you and triggering you and doing everything else to make you feel Looney Tunes, okay? And calling CPS on your kids and trying to take and trying to say that you're an unfit parent and and you know trying to get custody of your kids through court and doing all types of foolishness. Watch what you're eating from people. Watch what you're eating from people because you can't eat from evil people enough. You can't eat from everybody. That's the main thing. You can't eat from everybody. Pray over your food. Pray when you eat. Even when you eat with a group of people, you pray. You pray your own prayer. Don't pray with everybody else. Pray your own prayer over the food enough. Because everybody you pray into is not the same people. Pray everybody prayers is mixed up. You know what I say? You gotta pray your own prayers that your food is protected and your food is released from the demonic forces. You know what I'm saying? Because this is deep. You know what I'm saying? Your friend cook you some food, don't eat it. Anybody cook you, don't eat it. Your coworker, the potluck coming, your coworker give you some food, don't eat it. You know what I'm saying? Watch out for the love bombing. Watch out for the love bombing, because demons, they don't get tired enough. Because they always gotta be up to something, creating some kind of. They don't get tired. They want to tired you and tired your voltage, bring it down. You know, they want to bring it down all the way down here, somewhere down there. Sometimes you got to think, if you were in these kind of toxic relationships and toxic family environments, when they say, oh, little Jessica thinks she's better than everyone, little Jerome thinks he's better than everyone because he passed his spelling test, he does good in school, his teacher gives him good grades, he got a scholarship, he thinks he's better. No, you don't think you're better than. That's what they think. So sometimes you got to take this into consideration. My opinion, wait, let me get it right. You got to take this into consideration. Your opinion of me, your opinion of me has nothing to do with me. That has to do with you. That's how you feel. You know what I'm saying? Your opinion of me has nothing to do with me. That's your opinion. Okay? That's why you think that, because that's what you think. If you think that I'm better than you, then that's good. Good. All praises. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Jesus is good. God is good. God is good for you to think that I'm better than you. I don't think that. That's what you think. So You got to take that into consideration when people give you them vibes, you know, because you don't be thinking that. You just think you just living your life, minding your business, doing your own little thing, and then people are like, oh, just because he got a clean shirt on, his sweatpants look nice, or just you don't even these weirdos, they hate you for any reason. You out enjoying a walk, you outside walking and breathing and smiling, and they're mad, you know, because no matter what they do to try to take you down, you still thriving, you still you still positive, your spirit still has light. It's not dark yet, even though there might be times when you feel darkness weighing down on you. You still have a spark of hope, a spark of hope. You know what? Hold on, I got a message for you. All right. So what we there? We at Luke. We at Luke 14. Get your I can't see it now. I want you to get your Bibles and turn to Luke chapter 10, verse 19. And you need to remember this very good, okay? Behold, I give unto you power to tread. What do you say? We go reverse and come again. We at Luke 10, verse 19. Behold, I give unto you power to tread on serpents and scorpions and over all powers of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means, and I say that again, nothing by any means shall harm you. Yeah. Behold, I give unto you powers to tread upon serpents and scorpions and all wickedness in low and high places. Every demonic force, you have the power to tread on them, to stample them, to dismantle their evil, wicked prayers against you, to destroy any evil altar set up against you. Yeah, because you need God to slingshot you to your destiny, you know, to break down these generational curses, break down the generational curses, and to slingshot you to your destiny, you know. You slingshot you to where your destiny belong. Yeah, man. One more time. Luke chapter 10. Yeah. Verse 19. Behold, I give unto you power to tread on serpents and scorpions and over all the powers of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means harm you. That's if you follow the word. You know what I'm saying? If you follow the laws and statutes put up placed to tackle these narcissistic, demonic forces set up against you and I. You know what I'm saying? Bro. Yeah. So that's all I got for you right now. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you. Everyone all over the world. Hugs and kisses and loves and honey bunches of oats and sunshine and starbursts and Skittles and Annihilators and Jolly Ranchers and sweet potato pies and all that good stuff. All right, I'm out. Salute.